Hello everyone, it's Erin with Erin Gabriella. I hope you're doing amazing. I am broadcasting from Tofu Beach in Mozambique, and I owe you guys a 2024 weather report. It's obviously very noisy. There's wind, there's sand, there's water, so I hope that the audio is fine. I'm going to talk louder than normal and pray that this works, but it's my favorite time of the day, which is evening time. It's February right now in Tofu. It's unrelentingly hot. I am hot from morning to dusk. I'm sweating all the time. So this time that we have right here is a beautiful time as the sun is setting to just enjoy the cool weather and just enjoy, the sunshine. And maybe if you're in a cold weather place, you can take a little bit of that heat that's coming through from my side of the world and use it to warm you guys up if it's very cold where you are. So the reason why I haven't been that excited or kind of been dragging my feet about putting out the weather report, the elemental weather report for 2024, is because I looked into the energies for January and I was very dismayed by that. I thought January was a really shitty month and I had a really shitty introduction to 2023 or to 2024. I've basically been dealing with narcissism, mostly in my accommodations that I've been booking as I travel from December 31st until like just the ending just now, early February. And I feel like it's really a turning point for me. And during that time when I was struggling with those lower energies, it was just really hard for me to show up and be like a happy, hopeful, spiritual teacher. I was just really did not have a lot of optimism for 2024. But I still don't have a ton of optimism, but I think I'm able to look at this with more neutrality. So I think it's important that I talk about it now. Today, as I'm recording this, is also the start of the Chinese New Year. And the dragon, the wood dragon, particularly, is the energy and the primary element for this year. So I think that's so interesting. When I was talking to Spirit, I was told that 2024, the predominant element is fire. So when you bring the Chinese New Year into that, you have a dragon, which is usually fire breathing, and then you have the element wood with that, which is the element of earth, and wood and fire makes more fire. So it's just going to be a very hot year. The day I'm recording this, at least in my part of the world, it's the hottest day we have so far. It's scorchingly hot. I literally got a sunburn, which I do not, like my black ass does not easily burn, but I got a sunburn. So it's just, I think, an ushering in of what is coming in this year, which is just a lot of heat. A lot of heat, a lot of, it can be good, like a passion, drive, determination, change, but it can also be a lot of heat, aggression, anger, and war. So we're going to get into the depths of it now. As I was talking to Spirit, as I was getting the energies for 2024, like forged in fire was kind of the tagline that was brought into my mind. So that is kind of the summary of this year. 2024 is hot. Like there's a lot of heat. It's a strong fire element, strong masculine element. Fire, it's a very misunderstood element. It's generally looked at as aggressive, negative, controlling, and it can be that at its worst. But at its best, what it does is it brings in an infinite abundance. I believe that the ability to make money is really generated with that root chakra, that fire energy, that kundalini energy. So it's a good year for money. It's a good year for luck. It's a good year for magic. It's a good year for romance. It's a good year for all the beautiful things that the fire element brings, which is passion, drive, determination, success, and an unrelenting determination and assertiveness. 2024 is not the year to be a victim. If you're the kind of person that has a tendency to say, poor me, 2024, you're really going to struggle because the fire element encourages us to take accountability for ourselves and to become the masters of our own realities and the agents of our own change. So if you're resisting that by pretending that the world is out to get you or that you're a victim of some kind, you're really going to struggle and you're going to be put in a lot of situations this year that's going to force you to be held accountable and to take accountability for yourself and the reality that you create, which is beautiful for those who are ready, but that takes a special kind of emotional maturity that a lot of people just aren't ready for yet. So I can see 2024 being a challenging year for people who just don't like to take accountability for themselves. 2024, the fire element, a derivative of the fire element, is also light. So the sun coming in strong here, continued exposure, continued revealing of things that were hidden or deceptions or things that we would prefer to be, or that things that we certain maybe nefarious actors or even us in our own shallow element would prefer to be kept hidden is going to be coming now to the surface to be looked at and healed. So it's just going to be a harder year than ever to be doing dirty. It's going to be a harder year than ever to run from yourself. Like the fire element is really an element that asks you to look yourself in the face and face who you are, all of yourself, the good and bad and the ugly. And that light aspect that comes out of the fire element is going to be shining a light on every part of us that needs work, that needs change, and is asking for greater love and for greater healing. So expect you to become very aware of where your shortcomings are, or I don't like to call them weaknesses, but just shortcomings. Get used to becoming very aware of where those lie for you in 2024, because it's gonna, whatever it is that you need to work on most, it's gonna smack you in the face in 2024 and force you to take accountability for that and to really work with that. In order to make the best of this energies, of this fire element, this wood dragon element that's just going to bring more heat, but also a level-headedness, like the wood element is it's of the earth element. It's sturdy, it's stable, and it's grounding, and it's highly versatile. Even like the way that we use wood now in our houses, building our structures, I just getting images of certain structures being built and certain structures also being burned to the ground. So yeah, it's just going to be like you have the earth element, that grounding, nurturing, feminine aspect supporting you, but it's really going to be the masculine that's going to take over this year. And I think that that's the beautiful thing. But the dominant element that you need in order to really make the most of 2024 is actually iron. Iron is, of course, a metal. It's a highly malleable metal. It has a very high melting point. And really, I think that that's beautiful because it's asking us to be able to withstand the high heat, be able to withstand the fire that's going to be coming in, being able to, I'm getting the element like forged in fire. If you know that TV show, how those guys like make swords and shit out of these heat furnaces. That's really what we're gonna have to be. Like we're gonna have to be the metal. We're gonna have to be the iron. We're gonna have to be malleable and allow spirit to go in there and mold us into a more perfect version of what we can normally be, or a more useful version to ourselves, and maybe that raw material would otherwise have or convince you of. Iron also, legend has it, does not originate from Earth. It has galactic elements to it, and that was confirmed by Spirit. Um, so iron is a non-Earth element coming in to help create a stronger balance and a connectedness to the galactic. So I'm hearing like a strong galactic like element coming in here, tapping into our galactic ancestry, covering our galactic heritage, and tapping into those like those junk DNA, those elements of us that maybe aren't commonly understood that are of a celestial nature. That is really what's going to help us master the fire element and bring us into 2024 and through 2024 and a more perfect, more sophisticated version of who we were before we began 2024.